There's a lot of different ways to set up articulations, expressions, and text and other objects to trigger the playback of an alternate sample than the one that's primarily assigned to the staff. So for instance, oops, that helps. This one here, pizzicato, I just accidentally put in. You could double click it, for instance, and you get all the different ways that you can have that pizzicato do something in the playback. For instance, I could send a key switch of, C sharp 0 or something. Or if it's set up on your system to send a controller value, you can set that here and then send the particular value. There's just a lot of different ways that you could change. Program change. You can just have it send to the different voice that's set up for that instrument, which, for instance, if you had more than one voice on a particular instrument, the different voices could be on different MIDI channels. All right. Now, so that was, you can edit like text. You can put them on over here and change them on a per instance basis like that. Or you can double click them themselves and change their default value. Okay. Now that's for like global expressions there. You see that? Okay. So, but you can also go in and change it on a per staff basis by being on the staff that you want to, set up all your switches for. And then you go over to articulations and you select which articulation you want to have do something. Let's say it's a tremolo marking and that you want it to switch to a key switch of like E1. Then you would click apply. I'm not going to click apply because this is my already preset template. And it will switch over to that. And then you would take off tremolo on that instead of having it actually do the repetitions. You take off tremolo because now you're going to be switching to a tremolo recording. And you won't need it to be playing the tremolo recording in tremolo because that's going to be re-triggering and causing some problems for you. So you would take that off. Then you would click apply. And then now, forever, on that staff, when you input a tremolo, it will use those settings. And you have, as you can see, all those different ways you can modify the playback for any articulation you put. And it's the same way with expressions. Marcato, staccato, arco, pitch, legato, slur can cause the alternations of velocities, durations, and send the MIDI key switches and controller changes and voice changes if necessary. And it's the same thing with the dynamics. You could change all the dynamics for that particular staff should use breath controller, for instance, number 2, right? And that pianissimo should be way down at like 1 or 0, right? And so you can adjust kind of the curve in a way of your dynamics on that particular staff to better represent where that dynamic would be in the entire orchestra. That's a good way to go through your entire template, clicking through each track, checking with all of them on like double piano to see if anything's overpowering anything else. And then you just would double click the pianissimo symbol. Here, I'll bring it up. You would just double click that symbol. It would be there, right? And you would hear it that it was overpowering. And so you'd know you'd need to bring down that value on that staff, the default value, but that won't change the currently input value. So you would double click this one as well and edit it or just delete it and input it again. But on that staff, you would go into PP and you would bring down its controller value so that it's not so overpowering at PP. So you get a more realistic PP level. All right. So you can override all those defaults. See, look, sforzando, SF forzando, fortepiano. All these are all 110 right now. You might want to change those to, like, look at that. Quadruple forte should be 127. And that kind of stuff. All right. So hopefully that clears that up. And there's a lot of different places you can set those kinds of playback options. Just double click the things and you'll see the different options for them. Or if it's on the page, like I said, just double click it there. All right.